Good morning, everyone. We're here again with another episode of Rock's Renegade Real Estate TV. It's been a little bit of a busy time, so we're here early morning. Unfortunately, I guess the summer's kind of coming to a close. When I woke up this morning, the clouds were out, and it still wasn't light out. So it's you can sense the season is shifting. So some fun times ahead. Fall can be a good time, but something came up earlier this week. I wanted to show you guys this. See this loony surge of threat. This is all about what's happening with the rising Canadian dollar, and things like this definitely affect the real estate market. So we always want to look at them. But something really came to mind when I read this, and it says, Bank of Canada mulls new rates. And earlier this week, the dollar tumbled almost a cent, right? So the Canadian dollar tumbled more than a cent yesterday after the Bank of Canada upped the ante in its verbal assault against the currency's ascent. So essentially what happened, and there's reasons why they're trying to talk the dollar down, and I don't necessarily disagree with them, but that's not really the point. What I'm trying to, what came to mind when I read this first thing, I was just like, wow, it's amazing what a simple speech can do to the markets, right? So if you own mutual funds and stocks, or if you're trading in foreign currencies or the Canadian dollar, the Bank of Canada can come out and make a speech and impact your investment directly, a substantial deal, just by saying a few words that they might do this for the economy, or they might do that, or the dollar's not really worth what it's trading at. Whatever their reasoning is for doing it, those things come up. So, just hit home with you. Like, wow, there's, it goes back to the whole control thing. You really have no control over that investment. You have no real asset. You have this piece of paper, right? This flimsy piece of paper, whether it's a dollar or a stock or whatever, and there's nothing, there's something behind that, but there's nothing really. If that company or those dollars decide to collapse, or, hyperinflation happens, or whatever the case may be, those assets, poof, it's like they almost disappear. And a lot of us saw it, and I know that the sentiment is different now, but don't forget, it was just less than a year ago that the whole world was coming to an end in the financial industry when the markets collapsed last October, right? So, it's amazing how short memories can be sometimes. So I'm just reading this, and I'm like, man, the Bank of Canada governor can get up, and he can make a speech and affect so many people's financial investments in future just by that speech. And it's just so interesting, because when you compare it to real estate, I guess it just kind of reasserted my belief in real estate, because no matter what happens, there are going to be fluctuations in the real estate market. There has been over the last year, right? But no matter what happens, you actually own something physical. It's like if I bought this chair, I own this chair. So no matter what happens to the value of it, there's different things you can do to improve, or you can rent out the chair. I don't know if that's a good example or not, but you get my idea. So you still own a physical asset, and there's other assets that that work similar ways too. You can own physical gold and silver and all sorts of stuff. You can own a little bit more physical assets instead of something that's more of like a virtual investment, for lack of a better term. So it was just something that really hit home with me this week, and I just wanted to share it with someone. You're the lucky people. I hope everything's going great. Today, I must admit, living a bit of the rock star life. We booked a tee-off time for 8:15 in the morning with some friends of mine, so I'm looking forward to it. Too often we get caught up in the day-to-day stuff, and you don't spend enough time working on the relationships you built. And I think life is definitely all about the relationships you build between family and friends and co-workers and stuff like that. It's something that's definitely overlooked in a lot of success books and all that stuff. To me, personally, relationships are key. Relationships and some solid investments that I can rent out, get a little bit of control, and that aren't directly impacted within hours of one speech from one financial person. So I wish everyone the best. Have a great weekend and live your rockstar life.